In every corner of our country, the Latino population is growing faster than ever, now at nearly 63 million. And as part of Hispanic Heritage Month, tonight we're examining the debate over speaking Spanish, its link to identity, and whether who you are is so much more than just the language. For many Latinos in the U.S., a simmering debate.
There's a lot more that comes with being Latino than just language.
Spanish is very important, to still be spoken.
As long as you keep your heritage, your flavor of what it is to be Latino, it's fine if you don't speak it.
By the time I got into elementary school, it wasn't cool to speak Spanish.
It's just a very big part of communication and connection with our community.
It's a conversation taking place in Latino communities across the country.
Hello, nice to meet you.
How are you? Nice to see you.
How much language and identity are intertwined? Is being a Latino necessarily mean speaking Spanish?
I'm going to say no.
I think that speaking Spanish is, a fundamental part of being Latino.
At the Cancun Grill in Doral, Florida, 4 Latinos with 4 very different experiences.
I feel I have to explain myself.
Mercedes Atkinson is Mexican-American, lives in Texas. She doesn't speak Spanish. Is it, do you think, something that you feel you lack?
Of course, I would love to speak Spanish. I think every Latino would love to speak Spanish.
But she wasn't raised to speak Spanish. Her immigrant grandparents on her dad's side wanted their family to assimilate.
It's nothing against my parents. It's just how it happened.
Mercedes is not alone. A recent analysis shows the share of Latinos who speak Spanish at home has declined 10% since 2000.
It's called linguistic shame, and it's shame around not knowing a language or not knowing it enough.
It took me a long time to figure out who I am.
Denise Soler Cox is a documentarian behind the film called Being Ñe.
I feel like this is what I was born to do.
One of the themes, exploring the relationship between language and the Latino identity.
Not only do people experience feeling ashamed, but they experience being shamed.
Shamed, she says, for not seeming Latino enough.
Those of us who were born hearing Spanish and English at home was a privilege, and the decision to not learn it by our parents, it wasn't made lightly.
It's something that allows us to connect to the history of what it is to be Latino.
Alexander Walsh Rojas is the co-president of the University of Miami Mexicanes, a group promoting Mexican culture on campus. Alexander, the process of assimilation is different for everybody. The guilt issue, do you feel as though that's something that all of us carry, whether we learn Spanish or not?
Yeah, I think we all carry it, and there is that argument that you can keep traditions without the language. But a lot of these traditions have been passed down to us, are usually passed down in those languages.
Bienvenidos a la Mesa Caliente.
Alex Aspe is a journalist and co-host for Telemundo Network's show La Mesa Caliente, or The Hot Table. You're bilingual and bicultural. Is Spanish not a requirement to be Latino?
I don't think it is. It has opened many doors for me that I'm fluent in Spanish, but also that I'm fluent in English.
And for Alex, Latinidad, being Latino, also means so much more.
It's what we eat, what we sing, what we say, how we say it. I think it has to do a lot with family and how you grew up and your traditions, your heritage, your holidays, and that's what makes me Latina.
Mercedes, how do you define being Latino?
I think ancestry and cultural background makes up my identity as Latina.
I think being Latino is being proud of it and just wearing it on your sleeve.
It means that we value the collective over the individual, and that transcends the country of origin or whomever was the immigrant, or if that was ourselves, whether or not we speak Spanish. It transcends all of those things. It's our shared experience. And this is certainly a debate that doesn't end with this conversation. It's going to continue for generations to come.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.